He is retiring for good. In a very short Instagram post, he said that, look, you only get one big emotional retirement speech. I used mine up last year, so I'm just going to be direct but gave what seemed to me a really heartfelt, emotionally genuine and short retirement speech, thanking everyone, including his competitors and fans. He had to choke back tears a couple times, it seemed to me. And I thought it was beautifully done, to tell you the truth, but that's it. Right when we were speculating, he's probably going to go to San Francisco, and that's a storybook ending up there. He retires, guys.
Yeah, he's gone back and forward for me over the last several weeks since the end of the season for him. I always felt like, okay, he'll probably wind up retiring because, remember, I kept saying his son is trying to play quarterback. You want to be around in those days and times. I'm watching him with his kids ride horses, just all that sort of stuff. It just felt like, why is he still chasing? But then you start to think, okay, what team makes sense if he does want to play? So those conversations came up. Is it the Jets? Is it Miami? Is it San Francisco? Those are the only teams that make all the sense in the world. But in the end, you're 46 years old, man. There's nothing else left to do. You can't possibly, as I said yesterday, you can't possibly love football that much to the point where you're going to be missing out on some very, very important years in your kids' lives as they get into the teenage years. You have to understand that football is great. It will afford you and your family forever lifestyle, the whole deal. But what is there to chase anymore? What is there to chase anymore? He's done it all. There's nothing else left to do.
As we're obviously, you guys are with us in real time as we're kind of downloading all this information. And as I type in Tom Brady's retirement, do you know it was a year ago today that he retired last year?
Well,
the same day?
A year ago, but not the same day.
Same day. February 1st.
Tom Brady
We had the fake retirement.
What a fake. What
he retired then 40 days later.
Yeah.
So I'll be the person to ask it. Like, is this a real retirement? I haven't seen the video, Max.
It seems authentic, it's genuine in the moment, but
Well,
there's no way to tell.
Why would
Tom
you
Brady doesn't know for
again?
sure.
Well, I
right?
don't know. I'm just saying
listen,
it happens on the same day a year later.
Let's play it right now. This is Tom Brady's latest retirement announcement on Instagram.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So it won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
So, Jay, you asked, is it real this time? I don't think
that sounds real.
I think he believes it's real, and it may be real, but time will tell if it's real, right? Because he feels this way now, and if he still feels this way later, then he'll be retired.
Man, how many in a team sport dudes continue every year to retire and come back? The retiring the first time and coming back, I get it. I will bet you any amount of money this dude is done. It's done now. Mm-hmm. If you would have asked me last year what you think his chances of coming back, yeah, maybe. But it's time to move on. And that's why he's holding tears back in that clip there, because he knows.
He knows it's over.
He knows it's over, and he has other things to do. The man done went through a lot over the last 12 months.
Yeah, no question. Jay, it's funny because if you come off a season like he did 2 years ago, or last year when he retired, where you lead the league in everything. He led the league in attempts, in completions, in yards, in touchdowns. Led the league in everything. Then it's like, it's a great way to go out, even if you didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But at the same time, you're like, but wait a minute. I still got something in the tank. And if you have an off season, or a down season, especially if the right team isn't around you, there's always the temptation to think, man, I don't want to go out like this. I think I got a little more.
Max, let me ask you this. You know, this is what I love about our show because we're just all like brutally honest. So it took me a while after my accident. I'm not saying that was Tom Brady's accident. Tom Brady's had a storied career, but it took me a while after my accident, like a couple years. So like where I was like, all right, I got to change the narrative for myself psychologically here that like this is going to empower me, right? But like there's a lot where people ask, well, if you can go back to that day, would you change things? You think if Tom Brady could go back, do you think he would still play this last year? Or do you think he would have retired looking at it retrospectively last year, kind of being on top?
The question is, Jay, to me, and Key, it's a great question, but the problem with it is Brady needed to find out for himself, it seems to me, right? So in asking the question, you undo the point of the season. I think he's satisfied that he has given everything he can.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Max, for everything that's happened this past year,
if he could have had that,
if he could have not done that and say, you know what,
but
I'm going to
still
stop.
That I hear.
When,
you know what I mean?
When you say everything, are you referring to the divorce?
I
don't know that the divorce issue, and I don't know this because I've never talked to him. I don't talk to his wife.
Well, we're all assuming here if one was because you kept hearing reports about spending time with the kids.
I understand that, but that's an abrupt.
I agree.
Divorce based on retiring. So there had to be issues prior to that.
Of course, that led into it. But that's what I'm asking. If he had said, "No, this is it," do you think it would have had a chance to like save that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not
that, and also
I'm not
like,
at the dinner table.
I know we're not there, but I'm also talking about like going out. Like Max, you talk about last year leading the league in passing yards, right? It didn't finish and culminating with the championship, but still like
you don't double down on it this year though if you him because you're only going to make it look worse. If you come back and the same thing happens.
That's what I was talking about, going out on top as opposed
Jay,
to.
I would say the reason I say
going out on top was after the first year he won the championship.
Yes, that would have been going out on top.
Yeah, you're right.
But Jordan
should have probably did.
Brady couldn't do it. They're too competitive. But Jay, your question, there's a Middle Eastern philosopher from centuries and centuries ago named Al-Ghazali who talked about fruitional knowledge.
Where did you get this guy?
He talked about fruitional knowledge, which means the knowledge you gain through experience. When you understand something through experience, your question about, hey, if he could know what would happen, would he still do it? But knowing what would happen is not the same thing as fruitional knowledge,
Agreed.
right?
Yeah.
He had to experience it. He had to. I don't see a way around that one. All right, Tom Brady has retired again. Is it real this time? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will,